Okay, I think we're live.
We are live.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Christy Lewis. This is Hope.
I'm Hope. We're on Christy's YouTube and my Facebook, so trying to get as many people as we can so we can share Christy's story of being a volunteer with Families Together.
Yes, thank you, Hope.
Yeah, you're welcome. So we've been friends for a long time. How long?
We were
20 years.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm actually back in my hometown right now, helping volunteers get matched with foster families in Lake County in California, and Christy still lives here. And so I wanted her to share some of her story about what it's been like to be a volunteer for a foster family and then also for an adoptive family. I think you started volunteering like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we wanted to share this because we're looking for more volunteers here in Lake County, California, and also especially for Christy's friends on BookTube, YouTube, that we have opportunities for people to virtually volunteer. And you see this cute little mop of hair, maybe. And we'd love to have people. Put it. You want me to put it away? We'd love to have people volunteer virtually with families that we've got waiting around the country, some in Texas, some in Arkansas, some in other parts of California. And so, yeah, we just felt like Christy's friends here on BookTube would be an amazing asset to our community. So, and then my friends on Facebook, hopefully some of them are watching from Northern California and would like to volunteer with us. You can click in the caption of my Facebook feed for an event invitation that I'm having a volunteer training at my parents' house in about a week and a half. So join us there. Do you want to share your process of becoming a volunteer with us? A neighbor, we call them neighbors, just to be cute.
Mama. So really, becoming a neighbor for Families Together is pretty much what neighboring is all about. It's really about being a friend. And one of the things that they talk about at Families Together is that friendship is essential to human flourishing. And I have found that to be true very much so. I do have some physical limitations because I have an autoimmune disease and some other things. So I was finding it very difficult to connect or to volunteer or to really to help anybody for a long, long time.
But you have a lot to offer. As all your BookTube friends know, like you're a prolific reader, you're very interested in lots of things, like better read than anybody. And then like you love baking and like making special things. And so we didn't want to leave that untapped because someone could really benefit from that, we felt. So
thank you.
And I think there's a lot of people out there with either chronic illness or some other kind of limitation that makes it hard for them to volunteer in like traditional ways. And so we wanted to make this really simple and doable in just a few hours a month and without like really exhausting you.
Yeah.
So you could talk more about that.
Yeah, sure. I really found that with Families Together, they were really willing to kind of meet me where I was and help me help others because really everybody has something to offer, I think. Even if you're a person who does need help from others as well. And you can still have.
We all do.
Others. Yeah, we all.
Some of us just think of ourselves as helpers, and others of us think of ourselves as like, there she goes. I need more help than I'm able to give, and so we feel like everybody in the world, it's dignifying to be supportive of someone, and it's dignifying to receive support when you need it. We don't need to like put ourselves in the boxes of like I can never tap into help because I'm supposed to be super capable, or I can never be the helper to someone else because I'm supposed to be, in the lower totem pole of society or something.
Exactly. So, they're not mutually exclusive, right. Needing help and helping others. We all like lean on each other for different things. And so I was really concerned because I was homebound in a lot of capacities. And so when I talked with Hope about it, like a couple years probably after you started Families Together, she said we could match you with a driver, and so that we could share your cooking with somebody, once a month. Yeah. So with Families Together, the baseline thing that they say that you can do is make a meal for a foster family nearby, and so I really loved the idea of that. So she paired me up with a driver, and it worked perfectly for
someone. Oh, I'm glad you came back. So the person your like co-volunteer would come and get the food from you, or you would have it taken to them somehow, right?
Yes. So we would sort of trade off on what we were cooking, main meal, side dish, dessert, and she would drive it to the family, and she really got to know the family, and it turned out really, really well. So yeah.
Pardon the interruption. It's real life over here. Yeah, so then didn't you guys at one point, you and your co-volunteer, like have a contest of who could do the most creative recipe?
Oh, I think that may have, I don't know. I didn't really mean to do that or anything, but
you always have like cupcakes with designs.
Yeah, yes.
All kinds of fun things.
I really wanted to make it fun for the kids. You know, it's not like us, although store-bought food is wonderful. I really wanted to make them special cupcakes and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, and I put in my caption on my Facebook feed that like this is really for people even who don't love cooking or who don't feel like they have tons and tons of time to give, but they can still order something out. They can still run to the grocery store for their family. All kinds of ways that they could be involved.
Exactly. And that's very much appreciated as well.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't have to all be home cooked meals.
Yeah.
And during COVID, there were several times where we were like, gift cards is the way to go.
Right. Yeah. And at the beginning of COVID, we were like trying to figure out, do we change our training curriculum to like all this food safety stuff? We didn't know if it could be transmitted through food. Thankfully, now we know a little bit more about that. But there's so much creativity. This is really like being somebody's friend. And if your friend was going through something that made them feel lonely or that made them feel isolated, or that just like they were like, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this, just emotionally and in the sense of feeling like they didn't have anyone to lean on, we don't want anyone to feel that way. So if you're the kind of person who's like, I want to make sure, we have a lot of foster families, we have a lot of adoptive families, we also have families who are like leaving domestic violence or dealing with mental health crises. We really serve anybody who says I need support. And so if you're the kind of person watching today who says, I want to make sure a family doesn't feel alone and feel like they're drowning in their own crises, we say a lot of times at Families Together, we can't fix everything, but we can fix dinner. We can't change their whole life and make everything perfect and make the therapy work and help the addiction issue or whatever the thing is. But we can show up and nurture someone, and we can let them feel that little sense of like, I'm nourished in a deeper way than even like a pizza or a soup and salad could do. Because it's when it goes to your heart and it says like, somebody thought about me and made this for me in a very like, we all have to eat every single day. And so it can be something that feels lonely and feels so rote and mundane. But then when you bring someone else into it to nurture that person, that's where the magic is. And so we've done over 300 of these matches now, and people do tell us, like it's just so nice to have somebody showing up at my house who is there because they want to be there. They want to be my friend, and they're not there just to
they're not paid to be there.
They're not paid to be there. A lot of these families have like social workers, caseworkers, therapists, in and out, nurses. Thank God for all those people. And people need friends in addition to the professionals that help them. So that's what Christy's been doing, and that's what we want to invite anybody watching today to do for a family, Colorado, California, or if you don't live in one of those states, we have virtual volunteer needs for bunch of families. And that can look like sending a care package. We've had people on opposite sides of states. We've had one person in New Jersey supporting somebody in Arizona. It's like a care package. It could be a local restaurant that they love and doing all the work of getting that ordered or delivered, and then sending a little handwritten note or something. It's just, there's so much room to be creative and what you want to make it happen, what you want to do for it. It's not like a prescribed thing. And so, and it doesn't have to be complicated either.
My current match, I have changed matches right now. So I'm being a neighbor to another person, another family right now. And actually they they didn't want meals. I sent them some gifts, which they appreciated, but they really said, you know, we don't need gifts. Really, we just want a friend, somebody to talk to regularly. So we do. We talk on an almost weekly basis, and soon they will not even live near enough, you know, that I could just go visit them anytime I want anyway. So for them, we're going to be like it's like a virtual match anyway soon. So yeah. That's really a great way to do it, honestly.
Yeah. And the consistency, like even if somebody's moving out of town or out of state, like doesn't mean the friendship has to end.
Exactly.
And especially if somebody's really looking for like that someone to talk to, and someone to like share their burdens, that can be done, you know, across the country, even as they're going to, you know, to make new friends in their new area. So thanks for being there for them. What's been like your favorite thing about being a neighbor? Your favorite, like one little story?
Oh man, there's been so many wonderful things. I really love being able to connect with somebody, and that somebody was found who was looking and I was looking, and we met each other. Like that to me, it just means a lot to me. So
well, I think that's why we started it in the first place, because I started it specifically for foster families. Since then, we've expanded to all kinds of families, including families who are getting their kids back from foster care, and they can feel even more isolated because they kind of feel like a pariah of society. And oftentimes these are parents who are struggling through poverty and joblessness and living in a car, or things that are not like intended harm on their kids, but the circumstances of life. And so we wanted to make sure that they also feel the community. And so when I was like looking at the foster care system, I had so many friends who knew I was fostering, and they would say like, you're doing all this foster care stuff. I wish I could do that. I'm not ready to be a foster parent. I wish I could help in some way. And so I was like, we've got to make a way in this child welfare system to make it easier to get involved. And also like, there's people out there who need help, and there's people out there who want to give that help. But to find the two people and match them together, that's what we do. That's why we exist, so that match is not unmade. Like, you should not be sitting here with love in your heart to give and time to put together a care package. I know you sent your most recent family book. Like, Christy's basically like a librarian in my head, and just like so well read. So like she knows all the great books that kids could be into. So she was sending books to the kid in the home. She has this creativity to give. It's enriching for her to have that. It's absolutely like the most frustrating thing in the world for me if somebody's sitting there in their house looking for someone to support and then they can't find someone. So like that's the problem we're trying to solve. And then on the other side, if there was your current match, there's an adoptive family, a foster family, a family who's lonely out there saying, I wish I had a friend. We can just put them together and they can figure out a beautiful thing to do.
Sometimes it's hard to like ask for help or offer help when you personally know someone. But having the connector there, it really helped me personally as a shy person, isolated because of my disease. Now I'm not isolated anymore.
Well, I'm glad it's been part of it. And I mean, a lot of it is your, willingness to get out there and make yourself, vulnerable to another family, and how can you be part of their story. And I would like to just hear a little bit more about, like, I know you came to I think you came to our in-person training, but I think you also ended up going through our online training because there was a lapse in time. And so if we could just tell your people a little bit about like the process of how how our team, Mitch and I, help to bring people from that awkward, like, I want to meet a new person, but like, what do I do? Just show up with a pizza one day? So like, let's talk a little bit about how we make it like smoother, and I can fill in some of that too.
You mean how the online training went?
Yeah, and then like the introduction to the family. And
oh yeah, all of it was very easy, honestly. I didn't have any problems completing. I think you have to do, is it a background check?
Yeah, a very, very simple background check. It's done in like 5 minutes. It's about $20. It's a pretty basic one.
Yeah. And so the training will give you a little bit of background about fostering and what it's looked like through history and stuff. And it was all very interesting, actually, and quick and it didn't take long. And
yeah, it takes like an hour, maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then my team really helps people to feel that comfort level, especially if you're a virtual volunteer and you're doing this across like, you know, a couple states away. Like we'll say to the family, okay, this is your volunteer. Here's what to expect of them. Here's what not to expect of them, because we don't want people to like start leeching on too much and just be like, to be overwhelming.
Yeah.
But we really want to keep it simple and clear. And so we match them up and we say, you know, we're going to reach out in 30 days with just check in and text us or call us if anything comes up before then. And we'll help you through the whole process. Like, we're not here to like throw you in and make you figure it out all on your own. But you feel like after 2 or 3 months, people are like, yeah, we're great. We're cool. We don't need any help. So,
and for me, it was also really helpful to go through the process with somebody who was partnering with me.
Oh,
so
yeah. That's always an option. If you feel like doing something once a month would be too much for you, then we can find, like, sometimes it's a couple together, sometimes it's 2 friends who might live close or far away, and they can be together like as the like a team
right.
of neighbors. So we have a lot of people who do that, especially right now. I think people are reticent to like commit to something new because it feels like overwhelming. Everything feels overwhelming for most people right now because of 2 years of COVID and all that. But I think having another person that you're doing it with can really like help the energy.
Yeah. So I've had partners for both of my matches.
Yeah.
So and it's worked out great both times.
Yeah. I think people really enjoy working with you.
Yeah.
You have the sweet energy. So anything else we should share?
I think we covered a lot in 15-ish minutes.
Yeah. I think so.
Although if you guys have any questions, definitely make sure to ask us. And if you're watching this afterward, you can ask in the comments down below.
We'll get back to them.
Yeah. And just so you know that Families Together is the organization where all the AdSense proceeds from this channel go to support Hope. So thank you for watching and thank you for supporting
and
this
thank
channel.
you for your generosity. You're so kind in so many ways with your time and your AdSense and everything. So I really appreciate you. Thanks for being a great friend to me and to other people through the program. So if you want to volunteer, we'd love to have you leave a comment and we'll get in touch.
Yes, yes. And we have links as well in the description. So
Bye.
Bye.